Okay, hi. So you are watching Poor Africa, and we are understanding the history of Africa to get to know exactly what the root cause of the problems are. So we've understood that one, Africa was very, very developed with high technology. There's a lot of technology and development and organization and peace. Two, we are on to 1885 when Leopold, the barbaric king of Belgium, decided that he wanted to try to steal some of Africa as well. So he decided to colonize the so-called dark country, dark continent, and we've seen that Africa has over 10 different writing systems, whereas the European hasn't even formed a single writing system, but alphabet. But Africa had more than 10 parallel alphabets, all over: Bamun script, Vai script, the Giz script, the Egyptian hieroglyphics, Sudanese script, so many like that. So we've understood how civilized Africa was, and we are understanding that Leopold was a liar, and the whole International African Association going to so-called civilize Africa rather went there to loot the history and burn and destroy all the towns, to destroy the records, while imposing an entirely new culture on the people. Now, this is the very, very sad. This is a very, very sad part of this documentary. It's very, very sad. Leopold, the barbarian, who came to Africa, who set up this whole colonization quest, aka civilization of Africa. This barbarian, who is still revered in Belgium, and you still have his statues all over. This is a square in Belgium. You still have his statues all over in Belgium. He's still revered because he built the Belgian economy. Was built off of the money from the Congo Basin in Africa, and I believe reparations should due, whereby those people need to get their what was carted away from them back. Leopold went, and since he declared and held a Berlin conference, he took the centerpiece. That's the Congo Basin in Africa, the Congo Basin, and he took the Congo Basin, and I have shown in this same Congo Basin area, this is the script, the Mandobe script of Congo. The place he went to colonize had, check this beautiful writing system out. They actually had a writing system. All right, they were an organized society living sensibly, without wars, without famine, without chaos. They didn't used to cut each other's hands. It's very, very important to understand what happened to Congo. This article right here on this website, News Rescues, the Jewish Holocaust was presented as superseded by Leopold's 30 million. This is a part of history that has been lost intentionally. When Leopold went to Congo, they were exploiting rubber. So they got all the people in Congo to harvest rubber, and they're harvesting rubber and carting it away to build Belgium. Belgium today was built by the rubber of Congo. When he did so, what happened was he got these colonial soldiers, and the idea was to prove that anybody who didn't work right, you killed him, you must bring his hands. So at each day's end, they bring baskets of hands of the people of Congo. All right, they bring baskets of hands to prove that they didn't waste their bullets shooting birds. They have to bring baskets of hands. This was at the order of Leopold. So you have in Congo, you have these people, these are them, they are proud. These colonial masters are proud. You can see how sad these guys are. This is psychological indoctrination. This is torture right here. This is the torture of a people. So in this segment, we are discussing the effects of colonization. This impact, when you do this to a human being, this impact cannot fade away in one generation. Now, the problem that's happening at this stage is, what's happening is, these guys are forced to cut people's hands to prove that they did not waste their bullets, and they are to bring these hands as trophies. This group of people could be from a particular tribe in Congo, and to get the hands, what they do is, to save their tribe and their family, they go to another tribe in Congo and they cut their hands, because you have to bring the hands to prove you didn't waste your bullets. These were like gendarmes, like gendarmes, soldiers for these Leopold's army. So you have to bring hands to prove that you actually were telling the people to harvest rubber. Harvesting rubber was a dangerous thing. You wear the rubber. They had to wear the rubber on their skin, then they go and then they peel it off from their skin, and they go home and have a bath. The population of Congo, this is worse. This is a Holocaust denied. The Holocaust of Congo supersedes the Jewish Holocaust by far. the population of Congo went from about 30 million to as low as 2 to 5 million people. Leopold killed over 25 million Africans in the Congo Basin to harvest the rubber of the Congolese. And he gave them this kind of psychological treatment where they learned the process of cutting hands. Guess what? This is a transition where we understand the root causes of the problems of Africa. Everybody asks, because every day we hear that there are battles in Congo. And we hear that some tribe cut some other tribe's hands. And we notice, these are pictures from Leopold and his Holocaust of Congo. And we notice that in other parts of Africa, people don't cut hands. You're like, this is absurd. What can make people cut their hands? And everybody says, what's wrong with the Congolese? Why do they fight and cut each other's hands and rape each other? It's simple. This is pure psychological indoctrination. Simple test, scientific tests is, if you find this habit of cutting hands in other countries, then it's not due to Leopold cutting all these hands. These hands were all cut by Leopold and his gendarmes. But if you find this in only this area where this treatment was done, it's inherited. The psychological trauma, it's called post-slavery stress disorder. This disorder cannot possibly wipe away with one generation. In Nigeria, they do not cut hands. In Kenya, they don't cut hands. In Sierra Leone, they don't cut hands. In Zimbabwe, they don't cut hands. In South Africa, they don't cut hands. The only place where they cut hands is in Congo. How did they learn to cut hands? We see these two guys proudly flanking these sad guys being trained and taught to cut hands. This is why we still have hands being cut in Congo. It's called King Leopold's Ghost. Google the book King Leopold's Ghosts and you find out. This is a very, very important aspect of the problems of Africa, because we are talking about the chaos. The reason why we have a particular type of chaos in Congo, Congo cannot get itself together. One tribe still attacks the other and they treat each other and retaliate by cutting each other's hands. It's barely 30, 40, 50 years ago since these people, many still alive, witnessed and were rewarded for cutting hands. This is normal indoctrination of a people. This cannot change in a single generation. It's impossible. Asking for this habit, this culture taught by the bastard who was Leopold, who is still celebrated in Belgium, whose statue is still at the center of Belgium. The ghost still plagues the people of Congo. They still cut hands, as was implanted and transplanted on them by King Leopold during the period where he killed over 25 in the greatest Holocaust in recent history, and yet the forgotten, denied Holocaust of Congo and the Congo Basin. These people definitely, they can't get it together. It's not possible. Not in this generation, not in the next. It takes time for this kind of indoctrination to wipe off. They need assistance from the world, not out of pity, but out of guilt to fix the problems here. Whereas these people are still being exploited. Belgium ought, and there was a comment by a Belgian on this article, which was very interesting. I think I saw it when Belgium ought to repay these people for the damage, irreversible damage that has been done to them, that they are still doing. And check the news and you'll see cutting hands in Congo. The whole Congolese economy, there's colleges in Congo that are still called King Leopold's College. That's like having colleges in Israel or somewhere that are called what? Hitler colleges. Having having Hitler colleges is having King Leopold's colleges. King Leopold is still revered in Belgium, and his ghost still haunts the people of Congo. I'm very, very passionate when I talk about this. This hurts a lot, but this is just an education. We need to understand what's wrong with Congo. Perhaps we'll be able to help them out of this quagmire. All right. Thanks for watching part 5.